from our perspective, the primary reason that people come here is to study, not a pathway to residence. Well, look, it's not our full education policy. This is the first steps in our education policy, and it's a $379 million package. And there's really 4 components to it. The first component is around $126 million investment in mathematics. That's about upskilling teachers to do additional university papers, but also targeting mathematics resource to where it's needed for those schools that may not be doing well. The next part is around digital academies and digital internships. We're already spending $40 million in upskilling teachers to be able to teach the new curriculum. That involves computational thinking, everything from coding to robotics, and we want to make sure that the top young people who may go on to be the Mark Zuckerbergs or the Rod Drurys or the Francis Valentines of the future have the ability to have a trade academy-like experience as a digital academy, where they're potentially on the school grounds or in a tertiary institution for a couple of days a week, and then also young people get more of an internship type experience. And then we have also announced additional reporting, online reporting for parents, more comprehensive information about where children are doing well and where they aren't, and so it's building on national standards. And then finally, one of the most popular policies that we've announced has been the fact $160 million package to enable primary schools to deliver the ability for young people to learn a second language. I've announced that we want to scrap the decile system. The government's made that decision. The question is whether it happens within a year or 2. The reason we want to do that is at the moment it labels schools unfairly, like it's discriminatory because some people see that as a quality of the school when really it's just the characteristics of the neighbourhood. We're going to be putting more funding into those students that are at risk of not achieving, so the pool of money will grow, but we will be targeting it more fairly to those schools whereby they're likely to have a higher risk of those students at risk of not achieving. Look, I think it's probably been a contributing factor for some families who have thought that means that is the best school, so they've all wanted to live there. But look, I think we're going to provide better information via the ERO reporting, Education Referral Office reporting, to try and encourage and educate parents about what is it actually that is a good school, whether it's academic or environment. And I think that's going to help in terms of people seeing that some of the schools in areas where they may have lower incomes can be extraordinary in terms of achievement. Well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, I think we need to make sure we're doing the pastoral care element right, and I know that Minister Goldsmith has had some work around the code of responsibility for certain education institutions. That's one important aspect, because we need to treat people well when they're here. The second thing is we have had some institutions that have not been at an adequate standard, and so we've invested in NZQA to be cracking down on those organisations that may not be of an adequate standard. I think, the third thing is it is a bit of a balance here. I mean, again, we are campaigning on the fact that we want to have quality, so we want to introduce, make sure we've got these measures. But we also know it's a big export, it's a big earner for New Zealand. And again, a big difference between us and the Labour Party. The Labour Party have just said that they're going to cut a whole lot of international students, which means that can be hundreds of millions of dollars out of our economy. And we're confident that we've got measures in place or systems to weed out the bad quality, but we think it will cause a lot of people to lose their jobs if Labour implement their policy. Inevitably, we have different categories like skilled worker categories for where we have skill shortages. So the balance for us is we want to make sure that Kiwis get access to jobs here. We do see the role for education, but we see that very, very separate to what is a skilled pathway to residence. And the minister's been very clear about that. That's we want to make sure it's very separate, which is there is people come here to study, and then it might be that there are other skilled worker opportunities, but there's a different pathway for that.